Morning. Oh, salmon just jumped. Yeah, something slightly different. It's the 17th of November today, and I'm fishing on the River Erne for grayling. They've got a no wading rule, so I'm fishing with a strike indicator and a nymph coming off of that. I'm currently realising that after a month and a half of not fishing at all, I can't cast a fly for love nor money, so I'm mostly struggling with that. But I'm here not expecting to catch much because, well, as I've just said, I can't seem to fish at the moment, but giving it a good wee go anyway, see what happens. There's salmon jumping all over the place. It's out of season for them now, so they're enjoying life. But yeah, as I said, they've got a no wading rule here, so that somewhat restricts what options are available to you. That's why I'm not trying Euro nymphing, because I just don't think you could do very much on that front without wading. So I'm just trying this little spot here, just for a few casts, just to try and get my hand in, for lack of a better term. Bunch of geese flying overhead, you could probably hear those. Just try to cast in this run a little bit, either side of it where I can. But yes, just to get my hand in again before I try somewhere where I think we've got a better chance of catching. I've got a pink tailed pheasant tail nymph with a pink kind of collar to it underneath it. I probably will put a dropper on later once I get back at the casting, but right now, well, I did have one to start with, but I somehow managed to get it tangled almost every time I cast, so stick with one fly just now while I get myself back into it. That just went over itself there. Yeah, that seems fine. I'm using a thingamabobber strike indicator. In white, because it's the least offensive one to the fish. Right. Just have to see how things go. I'm about to move on because I'd been here at this spot for about 5-10 minutes before I switched on the video, so I'm pretty sure anything that could see this has seen this. The water's also quite high today. Although not as high as it has been the past couple of days. Right, I'll move on and we'll see how things go. So I've moved downstream a bit. This is a nice little run here, just off a corner. I've also admitted defeat and put a second fly on. So I've got the pink one on that I had already said, but I've also now got a standard orange colour pheasant tail nymph. Just because it wasn't getting down deep enough, fast enough in this fast moving water. It's a lovely gravelly bottom, you can see the bottom. You can't see his fish. I still catching myself all the time. My fly fishing is dreadful today, but I can accept that. It's just nice to get out of the house at this stage. So what I hadn't said was, this is, I think I had said I'm on the River Erne. This is the Castle Drummond beat run by, yeah, I've caught myself again. It's run by the Crieff Angling Club, and it's just outside Crieff. It's easy to get to, very accessible. You can book through Fishpal at, it's a tenner a day, which is not unreasonable, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful here, and that kind of makes up for the fact that my fishing's dreadful, and I have little to no chance of actually catching anything. Well, I figured out a big part of what was causing the problem with my casting. Too long a leader, of all things. So, hasn't stopped me doing that though, catching on myself. Just catching it at the wrong angle, but I can work with that. Come on, get another spot. The whole river looks fishy, to be honest. So I'm not entirely sure where's best to chuck out. Grayling fishing isn't something I'm particularly adept at, shall we say. Just had a nice chat with a guy who was just out for a walk, bird watching, and whilst we were doing so there was a huge flock of siskins just went past. Really pretty, really nice to see. And I think that's what, for me, fishing's all about. It's not just about catching fish. Yes, that's nice, but getting to see the wildlife, getting involved in it, feeling like you're part of nature rather than separate from it. And it does, it makes a difference. I've got a tree behind me, so can't do much in the way of back cast. The observant of it amongst you, I don't know if you'd even be able to see, may notice that I'm now using a yellow thingamabobber because I managed to get a snag which couldn't get off and lost both of my flies and the thingamabobber. It's one of those things, really. But yeah, having the shorter leader makes a big difference. I'll just need the fish to take. I don't think this is the spot, to be honest. Looked on myself again. Do you know what, I might just take that as my cue to try a different spot. So this spot here is the one and only spot where I have caught grayling. I did it last year. Again, I've only fished here twice before today, so I'm not really saying very much. So I'm going to fish here for a little bit, then I'm probably going to give in because there's an element of acceptance that I'm probably the problem today. I have not been fishing the way I should, and I can accept that. So you give it a go, and hopefully I might get some action. Just heard something. It might have had a salmon jumping a little bit up. There are certainly no shortage of salmon in this river. Shortage of salmon? I mean shortage of salmon in this river. Well, I'll give it a little bit longer, as I said, and if I don't have much joy, well, even if I do have much joy, I'll probably be stopping. It's already 1:20, so I've been fishing for 3 hours and I've not had a single thing. But again, I think that's more me than the fish. Fish on! Oh, it's a grayling. God, gotta get this current. Problem with where I'm fishing is there's not very many places to land them. Ugh, it's taking the Duracell. Taking them. Right, come on. This is going to be a pain. Can I get my feet down? Oh, there we go. There we go. Beautiful little grayling. Woo! Yeah, Duracell jig nymph. Hey, quit it. Let you go. God. Properly whipped this one. Just after saying, didn't expect. It was literally 2 casts after the last message. I want to touch it, but I've got dry hands, so I'm not going to try and get it back in. Find a nice spot where I can do so. But brilliant. At least it's not a blank. Right, back again. Oh, see if there's any more. Where that one came from. So that was the Duracell jig nymph, or my equivalent of it. Look at that. Oft. That was a decent sized fish, that was. Despite the fact it's only 1:30, I feel like it's starting to lose the light a little already. Did it again. Oh. These thingamabobbers feel like they're more of a hindrance than a help. Jesus. Oh, after the little fright from that salmon, I've decided I'm going to call it a day and admit that, well, I'm not performing as well as I should. I need to get out more, need to do more practice and all that stuff. And yes, I know if I stayed out longer I would get more practice, but I'm just knackered. As I said, I've been fishing for about 3.5 hours. And yeah, one fish, so it's not a blank. I'll take that as a win, frankly. Considering how poorly I've been fishing, I will take that one fish to win. Sorry about that noise. These are all the different flies that I used today. The one on the far right, this one here is the Duracell Jig Nymph. That's the one that caught the fish. The others is basically just a pheasant tail nymph with some brown CDC. The bug thing that I like using, orange colour pheasant tail nymph, pink tail with a kind of whitey pink colour. We've got a disco shrimp there and a cased caddis. The cased caddis pretty much used just as a point fly to add a bit of weight. That's why it's normally got a slightly heavier bead. And that's it. Cool, right, I'm going to take the walk back up to the car, which is just across the road from the visitor centre in Crieff, and then take the hour-long drive home. Despite only catching one, and despite my fishing being dreadful, it's been worth it because it's still beautiful. I love the Erne. It's a beautiful river, always feels nice, and at this time of year the salmon are just everywhere jumping about, and that's good to see. Certainly the rivers that I normally fish don't have quite the salmon population that you do here. If I was ever to try salmon fishing, this would probably be the river that I'd try it on first. Anyway, shall speak to you later.